Oh, there you are, YouTube. Hey, what are we watching today?
Wicked for good.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Look at that. You got your wands.
When this changes from Elphaba to Glinda,
Look at that. Like
it's just weird.
lenticular shirt. Very cool. Here we go. They put on their green cardigans. I'm decked out in green too. Green shirt. Actually, pink shirt. Green overshirt. We're not watching it in IMAX though, regular. I got green shoes on. Pink shirt. Wicked 2. Hey, go over there. Look at that. They wickified these tables here. They put out the streamers. Ooh, Dippin' Dots. These were invented by a guy from Metropolis, Illinois.
We went there. What, honey? Ooh.
Look at that, streamers. They went all out on this one. Running Man.
I'm just a walking woman.
A walking woman. Hamnet, Oscars. Here we go.
I'm very grateful,
Hey.
Edgar took the plunge
excited?
and let me be Ben Richards on this thing. 'Cause this is one of those kind of
Movie's over. We loved it. What's up? Yeah.
These are cooler than the other things.
Oz. And then with the... You can stain with the posters. You should stain with the under the Glinda poster, too. Or beside it. Here, get beside the pink there.
Wicked for good coming soon.
Oh, well,
They just haven't updated it.
Who's gonna be in the pink and who's gonna be in the green? Or are you guys both
are
gonna,
we gonna
be
do both?
Yeah, let's do both.
Okay. You're gonna put your sweater on? All right.
Very cool. Over this one over here. With Elphaba.
You ready? Nelly.
Look at that.
So cute.
And then how about over there with Oz?
Where is it?
I figure this one can be like Oz because it's like green. Just like
these
with the door,
streamers?
yeah.
Stand in between the streamers.
What's this? Why is that just?
Very
I don't know.
cool.
Get in the middle now. Don't pull on it.
Yeah, in the middle there. Yeah.
Real small.
Very cool.
Okay.
Are you guys gonna go see Avatar with me?
No. Yeah. I like
You want to
the big cat of the roof.
All right, back home from Wicked. So, like I said, can you tell this is green? I don't even know if you can tell on camera. This is sort of like a green color for Elfie, and then pink for Glinda. My pants were sort of a green. My shoes are green. I was wearing pink socks. Yeah, you know, just trying to look the part. Trying to look the part, right? So this movie, Wicked for Good, the sequel to Wicked Part 1. Why didn't they call it Wicked Part 2? Wait, did they call it Part 1 or Act 1? Now I can't even remember. Should have been Act 1 and Act 2. I don't know. Wicked for Good is fine. It should have been Wicked 2. Wicked Part 2 for Good. Maybe? I don't know. Just kind of, to me, I feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect there between the subtitles, Part 2 and For Good, right? Anybody else feel that way? Man, I hope they make a third one. I really like this movie. I feel like, is it critics? I think fans seem to like it, but critics are a little lower on it, right? And not like terribly so, but like maybe in the 70s or something. But I really like this. I thought it was moving, chugging along. It was going so fast. Supposedly this one, was this one longer than the other one? I didn't feel it at all. My kids didn't feel it at all. We were all sitting there. The only time I did get up one point to refill the popcorn, but otherwise none of us got up. We were just, watching the screen, enjoying what we were seeing. I think it takes place maybe 5-ish years after. I did miss Shiz. I had a lot of fun in Shiz in the first film, and here, I'm trying to think. I think we get a bit of it, tiny bit, but yeah, it's not there. Everybody's moved on, right? They've moved on, and so I did miss that. I did miss that. That was that was kind of sad. But also, like, I don't think I expected, so I know nothing about Wicked other than I've seen the first movie. I never watched the play, never listened to the music, didn't know anything about it. So I wasn't, when I watched the first one, in my mind, I always thought Glinda was bad. And I never trusted her at all. Even after I watched it the first time, I was like, I wasn't trusting her at all. Like, I thought the whole thing with them being friends was still a front. But then just culturally, I sort of learned, oh no, they actually are friends. And then, I watched it a second time in the theater, and then it, sort of clicked a little bit more for me. So because of that strong friendship and finally understanding that's what it was, and it wasn't like ulterior motives, I think I just didn't trust Glinda because she's popular. I didn't trust her. I was like, can't trust her. So I just always thought she was bad and lying about the friendship I thought that's what this story was going to be, that Glinda was actually the wicked one. I thought maybe that's where this was going to go. Again, I knew nothing about it. But after learning that the friendship was legit in this movie, I was surprised at how separated they were. I thought Glinda was going to be the entire time working with Elphaba, playing, what do you call that, like double agent sort of thing, where she's acting like she's working for the wizard, but in reality, she's working with Elphaba. But here, she's actually working with the wizard. I think she's a little malleable and, what's the word, like, seduced a little bit by the front of kindness that they're showing her specifically, and sort of ignoring a little bit how they're treating Elphaba, and enjoying that fame a little bit of Glinda the Good. So I wasn't expecting any of that once I learned that the friendship was true. I thought from jump, Glinda was going to be helping Elfie just as a secret agent sort of thing. And she was undercover and acting like she was with Morrible and Oz. So that was interesting and surprising for me. The movie really chugs along, I think. I've heard people call it messy. I wouldn't call it messy. I just feel like it's efficient. Like what do you call that? Like they trimmed all the fat. There's nothing extra on it. Never a dull moment, it felt like. I guess you could say that there's stuff you wish there was a little bit more information on, like with the animals. I wish maybe we could have spent more time with the animals. I really liked the way they tied in the original Wizard of Oz story and how they didn't really show us like the segments that we already knew. So that may be a thing. I feel like going into Wicked, which I think is a given and everybody knows that you have to be familiar with the Wizard of Oz in order to understand Wicked. And that's true here, because anything that involves Dorothy, Lion, Tin Man, that whole story, you don't see any meat of that. It's all just the beginning or the end of like the scenes that we know from the Wizard of Oz film, or probably the book also. I know the film. I just started listening to the Oz books, so but I'm very early into them, and then I've gone on to other podcasts in between. So I'm barely into it, like a couple chapters. But anyway, I kind of like the way they did that, sort of a you know all about this sort of thing. So you do need a little homework. You do need a little homework going in, and I think the Wizard of Oz film is enough, even though this is separate from it, because it follows some parts anyway. Because again, I haven't finished the books yet. It follows the books, with the silver shoes and all that. But if you watch Wizard of Oz, if you've seen Wizard of Oz, any of those moments where you're just catching the tail end or at the very beginning of, you'll be fine knowing what's going on. But maybe Wizard of Oz is so ubiquitous that you don't even need to see it. Maybe you just have an understanding and know what's going on. Anyway, I thought the acting was good. I thought, so the first film, I thought Cynthia Erivo was the major standout. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Here, I feel like Ariana Grande really stepped up, and I was, as I was watching, I was like, is she the lead of this one? It almost felt like she was more the lead. She just like really, I think, knocked it out of the park here. There is only one scene that I feel like I have an issue with in the whole film, like to where if I have to be critical, I would say, and this is weird to like say that I thought the acting was bad. In one scene in particular that involves, what's her name? Gosh, can't think of her name now. The Wicked Witch of the East. What's her name? Rose, not Primrose. Cynthia Rose? Or am I just thinking Cynthia Erivo? Cynthia Rose? Gosh, I can't think of her name right now, but you know her. A scene with her, a scene with Bach, and Elphaba. And they're all sort of together. And can I spoil some things for you? Let me do a quick minor spoiler right now. Okay, so the part that bothered me is when Sienna Rose, I can't remember now, Sienna Rose? I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Gets her silver slippers. She's like wearing the silver slippers, and then Elphaba puts a spell on them so that she can fly, right? So that Rose can fly. I'm going to call her Rose, so that she can fly. And then when she does, the shoes start turning red, probably a nod to the ruby slippers. Here in this movie, they're silver. And then, like that saying for movies, show, don't tell. Well, they're telling. She's like, oh, these shoes are so hot. They feel like fire. And it's like, yeah, we can see that. They're glowing red. Another one that also happened, and it felt like something from theater. So it's probably in the play, but it felt like theater happening and being yelled to the back of the room sort of thing. And then Bach did the same thing where, again, we're in the spoiler territory. He turns into the Tin Man, and when he's turning into the Tin Man because of a spell that was done, is it Sienna Rose? I can't remember. Anyway, he's turning into the Tin Man, and he's like, oh, my heart, it's like it's disappearing, or I don't know what he's saying, but basically everything he was saying, it was just kind of like he was stating the obvious sort of thing. And like, yeah, we know. I don't think it needed to say that. And then even Elphaba did that. So like when the spell was being read by Rose to Bach, basically she's trying to get him to love her forever, and she's reads out of that, magic book, but she doesn't know how to read it, all the words correctly and stuff like that. There's a part where Elphaba she's like, stop what you're doing. You don't know how to pronounce these. And it was just like, I feel like we could pick that up on our own. So those felt like words and lines that were probably in the play, that needed to happen for an audience that doesn't have further context due to limited props and things like that. But in the movie, I don't think any of those lines were necessarily needed. They just felt too on the nose, and that was really it. Just 3 lines. Him talking about his heart, Elphaba saying, "You don't know how to pronounce them," or something like that, and then Rose being like, "These shoes are really hot right now. They feel like fire." Yeah, they look like lava to us in the audience. We know. But anyway, that's it. That's minor. I really did like it. I think the songs, maybe I wasn't as into as the first film, but a lot of the songs carry, similar tunes and stuff. So, still good, but I feel like the other ones maybe are a little more famous, so that's maybe more catchy and stuff like that. But again, today's just the first day I've heard these songs, so maybe they'll catch on for me later once I listen to them more often, which I'm going to start doing. I really liked it. I thought it was good. The kids really liked it too. They loved it. They just love Elphaba and Glinda so much, and I don't know, it's just great to watch. And we showed them Wizard of Oz, and they loved that too. They were just like eyes glued to the screen, which is so exciting for an old movie to watch these alpha generation kids just be completely engrossed in it. That is so cool. And then for them to enjoy Wicked, it's just I love seeing it as a dad. Seeing them watch these movies is just great. We had a great time. So yeah, I liked it. I gotta let it sit for a while. Just watched it today. Maybe I'll feel a little bit differently later, but I'm on a high right now, a Wicked for Good high, and I really enjoyed the film. And I'm somebody who wasn't a fan of it at all, not because I didn't like it, just because I didn't consume it at all, knew nothing about it other than its existence. So I'm on board. I like these movies, and I'm excited to continue watching them as a family. Anyway, I'm curious if you've seen Wicked for Good, and if so, what do you think of it? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout. Hey, I thought of a couple other things I wanted to say. So, the ending sort of reminded me of Zack Snyder's version of The Watchmen, with Dr. Manhattan being like, hey, I need to exist so that there can be, well, he doesn't say good, but that's sort of what this movie does. Did anybody else think about that? I thought that was really cool. There needed to be a wicked, there needed to be a monster, there needed to be something like that out there so that good can shine and people can work together and sort of rally against a wrong or a bad, and they can stand themselves up next to something that they consider bad. Does that make sense? I sort of got that vibe. Also, we didn't talk about Oscars at all. Where are we thinking this is going to land on Oscars? Critics seem to be not as into it. Remember, I said Ariana Grande felt like a standout to me. I don't know what the competition's like this year, and is she going to be nominated for lead or supporting? Because she felt more lead to me this time than last time. But they feel like co-leads to me in both. But she really, I felt like, stepped up here. But she would probably still get a supporting nomination. And I want to know what the competition is, because could she win? I don't know. That would be cool. I just thought she was so good in this. And then Cynthia Erivo, I can imagine it. But again, I feel like critic reception could maybe cause a shift in thinking about this film. But I feel like viewers in general seem to still really like this movie. And that's one thing I like about the Academy. They do still like to recognize, through nomination at least, success at the box office. And this movie is that. So yeah, I'm curious. But anyway, I just had those additional thoughts, just thought of them. Still, I'd love to know your thoughts on the film in the comments below. Let me know. And yeah, perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more.